How's it going, everyone? My name is LC, and today we are here with another Marvel Mystic Mayhem video. Welcome to the first ever video of this series, how to properly use said character. In this video, it'll be about Scarlet Witch. I do think a lot of people have questions on how to use her, and I'll be giving insight on how I particularly go about using her, because again, she is a very well made character, and she's most likely, depending on your opinion, but on a common consensus, she's at least one of the best, like at least top 5 best characters in the game. She fits that threshold. For me, she's probably like top 3, because she's just that damn good. Like, you can't really get any better than Scarlet Witch, to be honest. Silver Surfer is debatable, but it's up to you, really. But yeah, anyway, we're going to talk about how to effectively use Scarlet Witch. I'll be going in detail about, you know, her kit and her highlight and things like that, but afterwards I'll be showing some gameplay of her on how I approach using her. She does fit on teams, of course, but again, this main video is about her solely, so I'm not going to focus too much on that. Before we get started though, I just want to say, how come Scarlet Witch doesn't have a costume yet, like a Marvel Zombies costume or something? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it would be cool, even like the base like costume she got before she came over to the Mystic realm, like that'd be cool too. But anyways, moving on. So moving over to her talent tree, I do not have everything maxed out because I don't have all the resources like that. I want to, but it's like by the time I could do that, it's like I know the character's coming out and I need to like summon for them and like, you know, save up resources for that, and it's a whole lot of like going over and over. It's just a lot of stuff. But anyways, so with Scarlet Witch, she is mainly a single target DPS. So in simpler terms, she does high output damage to single targets. So if you're fighting a boss, or if there aren't too many enemies on the field, Scarlet Witch has potential to at least just wipe them out with like one blow. It's really impressive. When it comes to multiple enemies on the field, it's not like she can't do damage towards them. It's just that she can get overwhelmed very easily, and she will get eliminated very quickly. So you do not want that to happen. So starting off with her passive Altered Outcome, her crit damage increases by 1.15%. That's at level 7, by the way. For every 1% crit rate. Crit rate cannot exceed 50%. Now, artifacts do come into play with this, because you kind of want to upgrade your crit rate happening here. Same with like with the buff too. You know what I mean? Like, it definitely helps. You know, her passive going alongside that, right? But you also want to make sure that you don't go full in, because if you do go like full like hog wild on that crit rate, don't get me wrong, you'll do a lot of good damage, but like her survivability, right? You gotta focus on that too, because if you don't have the survivability, you know what I mean? So you gotta really like plan out things accordingly. Chaos Restored. If there's only one enemy within the range of Reality Warp, refund 100 ultimate enemy. I can't speak clearly. Energy. So Reality Warp is her ultimate move. We already know what damage it does. It's just freaking busted. If someone is in the center of said move, it'll do more damage to that said person or that said character. And with Chaos Restored, if there's only one character, it'll restore her ultimate energy. I will say it is kind of beneficial to have that or this, I guess, bonus ability, because again, even though 9 times out of 10 you might fight more than one person on the field, if you even just aim it at, let's say, the character with more health, you will still regain the ultimate energy back, right? So it's not like you're back where you left off. You're basically at a better position to use your ultimate again and wipe out the opponent for good. Moving on to Nexus of Never. Scarlet Witch's attack is increased by 15% in Rewrite of Reality status. Reality status gains an extra 27% crit rate, right? Yeah, exactly. Okay. So extra damage, simple as that. Whenever you use her, what was that? What the hell was that? Anyways, so yeah, whenever you use her buff, you'll basically gain 15% attack as well, alongside that. And moving on to her last bonus ability, Rewrite Reality lasts for 3 more seconds. It seems simple enough, and that's of course, you know, with upgrading things like that. Everything here is level 7. I do need to upgrade these to at least level 9 at some point, but that's not for this video. It's just, again, how to use her, right? So I'm comfortable with level 7 for now, but at some point I will have to like get her to like her skills to level 9, right? But like right now I'm comfortable. Moving on to her highlight. This is where things get very convoluted and kind of not confusing, but it's like you have to plan accordingly here, because not everyone has her specific highlight, because this does cost money. Like, this is not free unless she has a specific banner. Did Scarlet Witch have a premium banner? I don't remember if she did. If she does, then they'll put her banner on there, but if not, then you're probably not going to see it. But anyways, this highlight is specific towards her. Of course, ranged characters can use this, but with the additional effect that this is really pertained towards her. Let's read through it anyway. The wearer's crit rate increases by 25%. After the wearer uses a buff skill, their attack increases by 20% for 15 seconds. So this basically just goes alongside her basic passive already, right? Like, her having that extra crit rate from the highlight already increases this, of course, by 1.15, but it's still really freaking good, right? But then again, it's also for every 1% crit rate, right? Well, gotta say, it can't exceed 50%, of course. But let's say you gain, 25% crit rate, your crit damage will increase basically that same amount or a little bit more because of the percentage, right? So moving back to the highlight here, additional effect when equipped by Scarlet Witch, special damage increases by 7%, which isn't too crazy, but it's still nice to have too. But let's say you don't have this highlight, right? Which highlight do you entirely use? And that is a good question. I will say a higher blade is pretty nice as well, but the only problem is Scarlet Witch doesn't have any follow-up attacks in her kit, right? She doesn't work like that. So this second half of this, I guess, ability basically doesn't work because, again, you don't have that, right? So she'll get damage increase, but that's about it. So you kind of have to pick your battle with that one. Friends on Street, you could do this too. Only thing is, Scarlet Witch doesn't really have any debuffing prospects to her in her kit. So again, this second half here won't really be beneficial, but again, you will get that extra bonus of damage by 16%, so that's also good. Rise like Phoenix, the wearer's crit rate increases by 20%, already good thing. For each allied character of a different class on the field, the wearer's attack increases by 2%. I do think this is probably, if you don't want to use a higher blade in Friends on Street, this is probably your next best bet. And I would probably put this on the top, but I don't really need it because I have the Scarlet Witch's highlight already. But yeah, this is basically all you need right here. Again, you gain the extra 20% crit rate, and just for having different members of different classes on the field, you gain an extra 2% increase for each of them, right? So if you have 2, you gain 4% attack increase. It's not 16%, of course, but it's still a lot better. And if you awaken this highlight in particular too, you'll be able to upgrade this percentage, right? So I do think this is probably your best bet, honestly, if you don't have Rewrite My Fate, right? So for highlights, I say if you have Rewrite My Fate, use it. It's so good. But if you don't, I say goes with Rise Like Phoenix, and then you can, honestly, these two are interchangeable because the first half of the abilities are basically the same. For artifacts, this is where I get very customizable here. I usually live like this though. I don't really change it that much, but it can be changed. I use the Hand Shuriken because it increases her crit rate. As we all know, her increasing her crit rate, it'll play into her passive immensely. You can use Unstable Molecules that'll increase her attack by 10%, but I personally don't feel the need to. There is also, which gun is it? I can't find it. I don't think I have it in Legendary. I probably don't, but it's around here somewhere. It increases, her crit damage by 18%. So you can use this too, but me personally, I don't really think it's necessary because you kind of already have that crit increase already built into her kit. So it's this is a nice addition, but you don't really need it. But you can combine both of those if you don't have, let's say, a unique artifact like Evil Eye, or or if you don't have what's it called? If you don't have, the Dark Hold, right? These are very great, artifacts to put on to Scarlet Witch, of course. But yeah, again, Midnight Gun is honestly, it's not a bad bet to put on Scarlet Witch at all. You can do wonders with both of these. I've seen it happen, of course, and I've tested it myself. But again, I just kind of feel safer with using the Dark Hold because it's just it captures basically everything that Scarlet Witch already has and just enhances it, right? Evil Eye you can use too, but you are taking that extra 30% defense off of you, so you have to kind of work with what you got there. It's not a great takeaway, but you can work with it, right? I'd rather just go with Dark Hold because even though you lose 7% of your health every time you use a skill or ultimate move, you can gain your health back, right? And if you have characters like Namor, or if you have like Captain America, you will still recover your health over time, right? That's like a base thing in the game. You'll still recover it, but I'm more safe with this as an option than to lose 30% like defense. Like, I don't really like that to me. Now, as for Soul Saga, this isn't really important because well, it does make her look a lot better, but like, you don't really need it because everything within her kit already is like already busted. This is just like a nice bonus to have, right? Thankfully, I got one already. That being, I put it to heart 1. Defeating an enemy with Chaos Blades returns it into your hand. Like, I'm super fine with that. As well as, you know, you gain 1 mana upon defeating them. So it's like, it's just a nice bonus to have all together. But yeah, you don't really need to focus on all this right now unless you get extra dupes, of course, but it's like, but again, you don't really need to focus on that right now. So that is basically the deep dive information of her. Now let's take her into some matches and I'll describe on how I approach on using her. Alright, we are at everyone's favorite testing stage, the Morgan Le Fay stage. Now, Scarlet Witch is over leveled, so that's just something we'll have to work with here, but I'm going to use like equally or lower leveled characters alongside her, so I can like balance it out. So let's put in Dream Queen, just for the sake of things, why not? And let's put in, who should we put in actually? Who do I really use? Like, really? No, let's put in Spider-Man. He's, Spider-Man. Okay, that's fine. Let's do it. Okay, so Scarlet Witch will stay at the back end. Why is it on auto mode? Anyways, yeah, she will stay in the back end. She will just do her thing. But as you can see, she is targeting Morgan Le Fay right now. Me personally, whenever I have Chaos Blades in my hand, I would like to preferably use it like just immediately, just in case I can wipe an enemy out quickly. I can get it back to my hand and plan out from there. So I'm going to take out one of these Hydra agents because they do regenerate the other enemies on the field over time. So that one's gone. See, you get the 1 mana back and you get it back in your hand already from having that as a soul, right? Or the mana's base, but like having this extra heart in you will give it back to your hand after you knock out a character. So doing it again, there you go, get the extra mana back. It's totally fine. Okay, so now here we're gonna do it again towards Morgan Le Fay. Don't know how much damage this is gonna do, but again, she does focus on single target damage, so it should be pretty good. There you go. Easy. Okay, now we're gonna buff up Scarlet Witch. Remember, once you enter in this state, your crit rate and your damage will go up a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. We're not gonna use her Chaos Blades yet. We're just gonna wait a little bit. Here we go. Gonna do this here. You see what I'm saying? There's no point. You see what I mean? We're gonna do Chaos Blades again. There we go. Okay, and now we're gonna do her ultimate here. Basically almost knocked her out. I believe this should end the match too, though. There we go. Yeah. So easy. It's very simplistic with Scarlet Witch here, because again, she's like she's like a brain off character. Yeah, looking at her damage, over 200,000. Like, let's be real. Like, we're not surprised in the slightest here, clearly. But yeah, she's a very like, you can turn your brain off while you're using her. You don't have to really put much thought into it, but like once you have those extra souls into her, that's when you can start like strategically plan your way through. Okay, so what if you don't have 1 soul into Scarlet Witch? How would you approach this? And I'm glad you asked. So Scarlet Witch is gonna go in, of course. We're gonna put in Doctor Strange just for the healing, and we're gonna put in armor just for the defense, and I like using armor, so why not? I would put in Captain America, but it's like it makes her look it makes it look really good. Okay, so let us go. How we're going to approach this is we are not going to use the Chaos Blades every single time. We're just gonna focus on like using it one at a time. Like, we're gonna basically play it as how we don't have a single a single soul into Scarlet Witch. Okay, we're gonna heal the team. Yeah, I don't enjoy the range sometimes. I wish like the more you level up, the more like range you'll get, but it is what it is. We're gonna give this to you. Okay, you're out of there. Let's do this here. I don't think we should return any energy back. Yeah, because there was like 5 enemies in that circle of damage, right? So that wouldn't have triggered the bonus ability. Okay, this is fine. We do need Doctor Strange to heal the team eventually, though, so we're going to draw a buff, and then get a healing card and heal Scarlet Witch. Okay, here we go. Alright, and then Scarlet Witch is going to buff herself again. Extra damage and a crit rate. Then we're going to use our Chaos Blades, thankfully so. Alright, here we go. Good damage, good damage. Then we're going to do this. Actually, no, let's hold off on that, actually. Let's wait. Should we buff up our damage to Scarlet? I get it. Actually, no. Because again, I wanted to show Scarlet Witch just like for herself. I don't want to show her like, you know, just like basically boosting her up from other people. Like, that's not really fair, because this is solely about Scarlet Witch, right? So let's just stick with this. Okay, nice. Basically, what, 10% damage, I believe. Basically, let's do this here. Okay, let's do. Actually, let's not do another buff up move yet. Let's wait, because I want to get the Chaos Blades now. Actually, I gotta get a shield going on there. Okay, there's a shield. Need Doctor Strange to do this. We're gonna heal as well, though. Okay, there's Chaos Blades. Okay, we're gonna do the buff first. It's you shouldn't really do this, but I'm just doing this because like I know Doctor Strange can heal. But yeah, I'm gonna do this first, mistakenly. But we did get Chaos Blades back, so that is good. We are going to heal. No, there's no healing card. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna do. We're actually gonna do this to ourselves. We're gonna heal the whole team. Here we go. I don't know if this will knock out Man Thing, but it should do damage. Okay, almost 10% damage. I'm not mad at that. Okay, gotta use Chaos Blades very, very soon. Okay. Need to wait for 3 mana. Here we go. Okay. Basically, we're in the long haul. Yeah, there we go. Easy. Well, it took a little bit, but pretty much easy. I'll say, of course, Scarlet Witch did almost 500,000 damage. Jeez, I'm not surprised. Not surprised. But when it comes to stages like this, where there's like more enemies on the field, you have to tackle that one at a time. You can go with boss first, but again, enemies can overwhelm Scarlet Witch and other characters on the field. So I would say eliminate them first and then go for the boss. But again, with Scarlet Witch, you got to go one at a time. Her Chaos Blades, again, do great damage. 7 out of 10 times they'll like knock them out in just one shot, but sometimes it might take a little bit more, so you do have to be, you know, a little bit more prepared for that. But again, 7 times out of 10 you'll most likely knock out the character. Okay, so now we're gonna try this on one last mission. This last mission being against level 70 Surtur. Even though he's level 70, he still hits very hard, and the little minions are still very annoying. So we're gonna approach this as real as possible. Why is the auto mode on? What are we doing? Anyways, we're gonna buff up ourselves, of course. Here we go. So the crit rate is active, the attack up is active, and I believe the crit damage is active as well. So let's do this, or we could let Captain America boost up Scarlet Witch even further. We could do that too. Okay, so now Scarlet Witch has an extra damage buff. All right, so now we can use the Chaos Blades. As you can see, 33,000 damage. Freaking great! Like, it's just gross. Chase. I'm gonna use Namor here. Just give us damage reduction and healing at the same time. Here we go. Okay, not bad damage. We don't need to buff Scarlet Witch right now, so we can wait a little bit. Captain America's move right here. Okay, we're going to buff Scarlet Witch right now. We're not going to wait for Captain America. We can just do this, honestly. It doesn't really matter. See, it basically just like, it basically just wipes him out. So I was like, there's no point. Here we go. Okay, now we got to fight all these extra minions here. Okay, we do this here. Okay, not really one-shotting, but it's fine. Okay, so again, missions like these where multiple enemies are on the field, one at a time is the strategy. Now, this is kind of like a countdown thing too, so you gotta like speed it up with Scarlet Witch here, but 9 times out of 10 you won't really have a countdown, it'll just count up, so you can take your time with that. But yeah, you mainly want to go for the character with the least amount of health and then work your ways up, because you don't want to, like, if you have the soul, of course, if you don't knock out the character with the most health, you will get that card back in your hand, right? And you want that card back in your hand too. So you knock out the character with the least amount of health first, and then you work on the last character. And if you miss the last character, it's totally fine. But again, I'd rather have one character get through than have 3 get through. You know what I mean? And then you have to start all over, right? You don't want that. So it is what it is. Okay, let's use the buff here. Just damage up buff. Let's get this going. Let's do this here. Chaos Blades. Let's boost up her crit once again. Now let's do Scarlet Witch's ult. Not gonna knock him out, but again, still works. 65%. 112 damage is actually really, really good. Okay, let us buff ourselves again. Okay. Okay, let's do this here. Buff up ourselves. Let's do this again. Okay. Chaos Blades. Great damage, great damage. Let's buff ourselves just for some health. And I do think that this last ultimate for Scarlet Witch should knock out Shredder. Like, it should just be a straight wipe. Yeah, there you go. Easy. You can skip that. New record too. I'll take it. 600,000. See, granted, Captain America with his attack buffs did help that immensely. We will say that did help a lot. But Scarlet Witch alone, like we already know, like she does again a fantastic crap ton of damage. So that basically concludes how to use Scarlet Witch properly. Again, it's not too hard because Scarlet Witch is a brain off character. What I mean by that is you can just turn your brain off while using her. It doesn't really take much into using her, of course, but you can put some thought into it if you want to. Honestly, again, I only do that whole, like, you know, I gotta knock out the character with the lowest health thing because of the whole soul business. Like, if she didn't have that, you don't really need to focus on that really. But if you do have that, that's what I would focus on. But again, still a brain off character. Like, if you're just fighting one character, like, or just one boss, just fight her normally. Like, you don't really have to do anything crazy. But I will say, like, this, how I would approach like the steps to, you know, get that most, like, maximize most of your damage if you don't have like Captain America or whatever. Of course, the artifacts right here, and of course the highlights I mentioned to you earlier. But I'll say buff, or if it's in your hand, of course, use your buff first because that'll buff the crit rate and your crit damage and your attack too. And then afterwards, if you have Chaos Blades, use Chaos Blades. And afterwards, if you have your ultimate ready, go ahead and use that. That should have done like at least a good amount of damage. But again, you don't know how beefy the boss is, so it might not have. I don't know for sure, but it might have. And basically, just rinse and repeat. You can also mix and match too, because the whole like crit rate, crit damage does last a good little bit. So you can, like, if you know Chaos Blades comes back into your hand, you can use that again as long as, you know, those buffs are still there. But if not, I'll basically just rinse and repeat, like just start over from the buff and then the, you know, the Chaos Blades and the ultimate. But there is a plus side again, since you're fighting just one character, of course, that her ultimate will, you'll basically gain ultimate energy back from because it's just one character being affected by her ultimate, and it makes sure you have that ultimate like in the center of the character because it'll do the most damage towards that character. So that basically concludes the first episode of this series. This is a very long one, but honestly, I feel like it was needed, to be honest, because not everyone knows how to use Scarlet Witch, and I want to do the best I can to help out other people. But if you have any other tips and tricks on how to use Scarlet Witch as well for other people to know, let me know in the comment section below, and also let me know what characters you guys would like to see next as well. With that being said, my name is LC. Have an amazing day, God bless, and I'll catch you all in the next Marvel Mystic Mayhem video.